Hi readers, welcome back to my channel. I've totally spaced out there. Welcome back to my channel, Lila Wanders and Reads. Lee here, and welcome to my weekend books. This has been a roller coaster of a week. I had 2 DNFs, but luckily the week started and ended on bright notes. I started the week with C.J. Cook's The Lighthouse Witches. I have read another book by her before. I don't remember the name of it because I'm drawing a blank today. Anywho, I enjoyed that other book. I remember what it was about, but this one I also enjoyed. There was a twist that I did not expect that I really liked. And C.J. Cook has another book about witches. I can't remember what it's called either, coming out in October, and definitely I'm going to buy that. In The Lighthouse Witches, 2 sisters go missing on a remote Scottish island. 20 years later, one is found, but she's still the same age as when she disappeared. The secrets of witches has reached across centuries in this chilling gothic thriller from the author of the acclaimed The Nesting. I have The Nesting. I have not read it yet. I will probably read it this winter or fall. When single mother Liv is commissioned to paint a mural in a 100-year-old lighthouse on a remote Scottish island, it's an opportunity to start over with her 3 daughters, Luna, Sapphire, and Clover. When 2 of her daughters go missing, she's frantic. She learns that the cave beneath the lighthouse was once a prison for women accused of witchcraft. So there's 2 timelines going on here. Really kind of 3. The locals warn her about wildlings, supernatural beings who mimic human children, created by witches for revenge. Liv is told wildlings are dangerous and must be killed. Loved this part. I loved how that came about, how there's a curse that ends up coming true in the weirdest way. Totally unexpected. Totally loved it. 22 years later, Luna has been searching for her missing sisters and mother when she receives a call about her youngest sister, Clover. She's initially ecstatic. Clover is the sister she remembers, except she's still 7 years old, the age she was when she vanished. Luna is worried Clover is a wildling. Luna has few memories of her time on the island, but she'll have to return to find the truth of what happened to her family. She doesn't realize just how much the truth will change her. Again, I really enjoyed this book. There's the secret to why Luna is the same age. Is she a wildling? That's in question. I'm sorry, Luna. I meant Clover. Why is Clover the same age? There's a secret to what happened to her mother and her other sister. And it is just, totally enjoyed it. Totally had a great time with this book. I'm definitely going to read more C.J. Cook. I think I have 2 others, The Nesting and maybe one other. I'm not sure. I have The Nesting. I will read it, but really enjoyed her writing. And then, this is not the way I decided to stay in witch mode, so I picked up The Last Witch of Edinburgh. And this was a DNF. In theory, I'm not going to read the back of it for you because I'm running late this is Monday, and I usually do these videos on Sunday. So, in theory, this had everything I wanted. Travel through time, or living a long time, hundreds of years, women as scapegoats, being accused of witchcraft, and a secret kind of coven. Except, I'm all about feminism and fuck the patriarchy and all that, but there's something to be said for subtlety and nuance, and this book did not have that. A lot of people have seen on the internet, they didn't burn witches, they burned women. Got it. And yeah, true. But I don't need you to tell me that 3 or 4 times, that women are witches and witches are women every chapter. After a while, it got preachy, and I felt like I was being hit over the head. And it felt like a chore to read because there's not a whole lot happening. And I think what finally made me DNF it is that, so there's a time skip in here from 1824 Edinburgh to present day. And the one woman is a witch, and she lives all that time. Well, I read a review that said the second half, when you get to present day, becomes even more preachy, and I just could not. I don't subtlety and nuance, and it felt really young. Like when you're in your early 20s and you know everything and you're learning things and you want to tell your opinions as though they were a fact and you're very confident, that's how it felt. Like someone in their 20s or preaching to me, and it lacked depth and experience. So I have 2 of her books. I will not be reading the second. I will probably donate those or send them off to a used bookstore. Then I read the first couple of pages of another book that I was really excited about. And that is, if you're seeing this, It's Meant for You by Lee Stein. Not going to read the back of this either, but the main character, whose name Dana, I had already forgotten, in the beginning, gets broken up with via a Reddit post. I loved that. So the Reddit post is on the first 2 pages, and then it switches to Dana's perspective. And this one line is why I bought the book. "You stupid motherfucker," was all I could think when I got to the end. "You didn't think to give Owen Wilson a pseudonym?" Owen Wilson is the rabbit, pictured here on the front. And this book was about how Dana, after she gets dumped, when she's about to move in with her boyfriend, great beginning. She goes to an old friend of hers' house. It's a hype house for social media influencers. Again, right up my alley. Except, turns out, reading about social media influencers dancing and making posts was incredibly boring. And I did not want to be bored anymore. So I DNF'd that one. And then I got a Friday night book. Usually I don't read on Friday nights, but it was a long weekend, and so I decided to. And this one, mixed bag for me. I gave it 3 stars, and I'm talking about High Season by Katie Bishop. I think it just went on a little too long, and there were so many things that I could guess about. Yes, coffee time. On a beautiful summer's night 20 years ago, troubled 17-year-old Tamara Drayton was found floating face down in the pool of her family's idyllic mansion in the south of France, leaving her twin brother, Golden Boy Blake, to pick up the pieces of their shattered family. Also left behind was their sister, Nina, who, at 6 years old, but I could have sworn it said 5, whatever, at 6 years old, became the youngest person ever to testify in a French murder trial, because she's the only one who saw what happened, who watched as her babysitter, Josie Jackson, pushed Tamara under the water and held her there until she stopped breathing. Didn't she? 20 years later, Nina's memories have faded, leaving her with no idea of what really transpired that night. When a new true crime documentary, ding ding ding, love that, about her sister's murder is announced, Nina thinks this might be her chance to finally find out. But the truth always comes at a cost. Who will pay the price? Set over 2 unforgettable summers, 2 decades apart, High Season is a dark, tense exploration of the nature of memory, the enduring power of truth, and all the gray areas in between. And like I said, this was just okay for me. I feel as though this kind of book, the mystery, the drama, and this is not a thriller, but it kind of put it in that genre. I think I've read my way out of enjoying those. Like, they're not as fun for me anymore. Back in the day, that's almost all I read. If it had murder in it, or thriller, or a mystery, I was all about it. But they're just not hitting for me anymore. You know what is hitting? Allison Cochran, another author for me. I finished up the week. Usually, I end the week on a Saturday and then do this video on Sunday, and whatever I start reading on Sunday, that starts my next weekend book. But this weekend, I gave myself an extra day because of the holiday, and also because I needed to end on a higher note than High Season, because it was just okay. But every step she she takes comes out tomorrow. That's its pub date. My local Barnes & Noble had a copy of it early, so I swooped it up, and I decided to end with this. And I'm so glad I did, because this roller coaster of a week ended up on a high note because of this book. Catch flights, not feelings. 35-year-old Sadie Wells needs a break. She's desperate to escape her monotonous routine in Seattle, the family business that has consumed her entire life, and the unexpected questioning of her sexuality. So when her injured sister offers Sadie her place on a tour along Portugal's Camino de Santiago, she decides this is the perfect chance to get away from it all. And now I want to go to Portugal. After 3 glasses of wine and some unexpected turbulence on the flight, Sadie confesses all her secrets to her seatmate, Mal. The problem? The plane doesn't crash, and it turns out Mal is on her Camino tour. And so when Mal offers to help Sadie experience the queer adolescence she missed out on, Sadie learns that her 200-mile trek will be a journey of self-discovery, whether she wants it or not. Again, such a fun book to read. I started and finished it yesterday. I actually ended up really loving the character of Mal more than I did the character of Sadie. Still liked Sadie, but Mal, to me, it was she had her own secrets, and it was time for them to come to light. And I really loved this book. Alison Cochrane is another auto-buy author for me. Like I said, I've read all her books now, and what I'm sad about is that now I'll have to wait a long time for the next book. So, in order of what I liked, Every Step She Takes is number 1, probably because it's fresh in my mind. Number 2 is Kiss Her Once for Me. It has a Christmas vibe. Number 3 is The Charm Offensive. Really like that. I think that was like a reality TV show based. And then Here We Go Again. I did feel it got a little bit long in one section, but again, Alison Cochrane, auto-buy. Now I want to go to Portugal. If you like rom-coms with real-life trauma, I cried at the end. This is for you. Highly recommend. Anywho, that wraps up my week in books and my August reading, because whatever I start now, and I don't know what it'll be, will be my first book for September. And I hope it starts out on a high note. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments if you've read any of these books, if you've had a rough reading week, or if you have any recommendations. Anywho, if you've stuck with me this long, as always, thank you for sticking with me on my journey, and happy reading.